special episode of Who Put This On? It's season 8, episode 35, where we do a flashback back to 10 years ago, where we watch Utopia, season 1, episode 2. There will be a link in the show description to watch the show. And can you get drunk driving on a tractor? I'm Chris Lorenz, and returning for, I don't know, the last time you were here.
It's been a little bit.
For, the original hosts of Who Put This On are here.
I'm Harrison Hoffman, and there's a reason for the chicken tractor.
Hi, this is James calling from Utopia. And I'm also back. Can't believe it. It's good to be back. Seeing your faces.
Hi, this is VJ. She's not even 21. She's on fire.
Imagine Simba in your arms, licking your face, and kissing your tears off. This is Rob.
This is Annabeth. Bubbles!
We have a whole new Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme going on. This is Brian.
Rice and beans. This is Noah Singer.
You can't feed 10 people pickled radish. I don't give a fuck. This is Max Donna.
Pickle horseradish.
Those are all quotes from the show, except mine was a quote from episode 1 of Who Put This On.
He got us. He got us.
So, wait. Have you gone back and listened to the first episode recently?
I did it today.
Great. How was it? Awful? Amazing? Stupendous?
I think it was good. I liked it. I would listen to it. The audio quality is a little rougher, but not that our audio quality is amazing sometimes. So, take it for what it is.
Cool.
Before we get on to more talk about that, let's talk about last week. We watched The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. We had a poll on X at Who Put This On, and you guys voted that a top third show. Tell us what you thought about Utopia at Who Put This On X. Noah, what was the show we watched first and this week?
Since the dawn of time, humans have always wondered, does a perfect world exist? Now we get the chance to build one. Will it be ultimate happiness or utter chaos? 15 pioneering Americans leave their everyday lives and move to an isolated, undeveloped location for an entire year, where they are challenged to create their own civilization from scratch. That is Utopia, formerly on Fox, now available on Dailymotion.
Not available nowhere. Is really
hard to find, except for 10-year-old uploads on forgotten video websites.
Yeah. So this show lasted 8 weeks.
How long was it supposed to last?
It was supposed to last
1 year.
52 weeks.
So they got
Didn't quite get there.
15%.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be 2 days a week. That lasted, I think, 4 weeks. And then they went to 1 a week, and that lasted 3 weeks. So 8 weeks total, which is interesting. We did the show originally because it was big at the time. Fox was like, you got to watch our new Utopia show. I'm sure they had something after the Super Bowl or something, they normally do. And if you listen to the podcast, we don't even tell you what episodes we watched. We're just like, we watched Utopia.
So, Chris, a little thing. This was actually their entry into the fall. It started with a 3-night event.
Noah is so right.
On September 7th.
And I think we just watched the first night event, which was a 2-hour thing. I remember us watching it and being like, oh, I can't watch any more of this. And it was like we had a whole other hour left.
Luckily, we have Utopia's #1 fan, Harrison Hoffman, with us, who made us all watch this shit.
Hey, not that many episodes, though. It was a pretty big investment for Fox, though, because they had this year-long production that they have in this thing, and it's kind of Big Brother style, where it's happening live as it's airing on TV. So they, as you mentioned, had a 24-hour live stream where you can check in on the farm.
Yeah, it was a premium product to get the live stream. It was $5 a month to get the access to the live stream.
Was that ahead of its time?
Did
Did we have other shit like that then?
Yeah, we did. We had what's the house one?
Big Brother.
Big Brother.
I don't know why.
But you don't have to
Remember that.
subscribe for Big Brother, right? Or do you?
I don't know.
No, at least not anymore.
No.
They have Pluto is running
Yep.
like 8 channels of that right now.
Okay.
You definitely didn't have to subscribe to watch Big Brother back in the day. Not at all.
No.
Wait, is Pluto have like the episodes, or does it have like the?
It has
live-
both. It has both.
Interesting.
But I don't know what.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what it was before. I also didn't realize you had to pay $5. Did you pay for
This
that?
is- when I was Googling the show, which is apparently really hard to do because there's like 15 Utopias, and like
There were like 3 shows called Utopia that came out in like a 18-month span around 2013, 2014. It's shocking.
Yep.
yeah, so that
And
made
there's a remake of one of those that came out in 2020.
Oh,
some of the things that I wrote down from the podcast, which I started, and you made fun of me for this for a long time, which is I said one each week, a new one.
It was the beginning of the catchphrase. Yeah.
Let's see. There was like a big box, and somebody said, "How many dead people can we fit in this box?" Which I thought was a pretty good. And then we spent like, "Oh, could you fit the whole cast in the box?" And we're like, I don't know if describing the size of this box because I still have no idea what the size of this box was.
Were you still a 0Lorenz30 on Twitter at that point?
I don't. I think so, but I didn't shout out my Twitter. So.
Oh, that's too bad.
The Utopia State of Freedom we talked about. We asked like, what's the other personality type of this girl who has sex a lot? And I said Asian.
Oh
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like, that's not a personality type.
You might want to take that off the internet, Chris.
It's there. And then we talked about if you can make your own rules, can you get drunk driving on a tractor?
What if it's a chicken tractor?
What did we learn? What's the answer?
We didn't learn anything. It was
Shit, it's been 10 years and we still don't know.
We don't know.
Damn it.
And then the other good quote from this was he's popping bones and doesn't know what to do with them. Was talking about the 2 people that are having sex in the show.
I'm pretty sure drunk driving, just like underage driving, is legal if you're just on private property.
I don't know what the rules are.
I think that's right.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact quote from the show, our first podcast. It was like, pretty sure on private property, you can do what you want, but I don't know.
10 years later, we're still at the same point.
We've learned nothing in 10 years.
But what are the laws of the Utopia State of Freedom on drunk driving? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're free to drunk drive in the Utopia State of Freedom.
Yeah, which is this week's episode we watched. We have Hillbilly Red and ex-con Dave really shine this week. They do not want to spend money on things that they don't think they're going to use. They refuse to be part of this Utopia. They split off from the Utopia, but not to form what now?
The Utopia State of Freedom.
And for the setup, like how much money did they give to the survivors here to live for a year on? It was like
$5,000.
$5,000. Okay, so it's like $5,000, and these guys basically start saying, "Hey, we're gonna take out our 1/15 of this $5,000 and go form our own state, but then continue to use all the resources of the rest of the camp too."
Yeah, they keep mooching.
And okay, but like with this, I'm still confused. They are succeeding or they're not succeeding to form this Utopia state. It's like they're still part of it, but not with money.
Exactly.
Okay, kind of, but not really.
They're like, whatever you guys do, we're in, but
But
not with our money.
not the food though. We
No,
out.
not with our money.
Yeah.
You got to use not our money.
We go.
They're not logical. I think you're trying to think of like what logical situation they're trying to create, and that's just not the case.
Well, it's kind of logical. They're moochers. They're like, if you do hard work and get good stuff out of it, we would be happy to participate in that. But we don't want to do any hard work. And we also want to spend our money on our own things. But if you buy communal things, we'll happily use that. It's very logical from a, I only care about myself and this utopian society is going to collapse point of view.
I think Hillbilly Red would make a good politician.
You think so?
I think so. He fits right in with a certain political party in terms of
The
maybe
Greens.
Ex-Con Dave might too. I don't know.
So one thing I enjoyed about Dave was whenever they put up their name on the screen, it's the name and their profession. But half the time it was Dave ex-con, and half the time it was just Dave unemployed. Everyone else had the same profession every time, but Dave, they had to go back and forth between the two. And I don't really know why they had to do that.
And the worst was they showed that he's a hair cutter.
Sorry, do you want to reattempt that, Noah?
They showed he was a hair cutter.
He's a barber.
Barber, yeah.
Hair cutter is crazy.
What's the difference?
Noah doesn't use your
hairdresser?
fancy terms like barber, Max. Come on.
Yeah.
Could be a hairdresser. I don't know.
I need scissors with these hairs.
Hairstylist?
Stylist.
I think we can all agree it's not hair cutter.
I agree.
I think it could be. There's no reason. English has no fucking rules. Do whatever you want.
In the
Chris, you don't
Utopia
have
state
hair, you
of
don't have
freedom,
Yeah, in the Utopia state of freedom, it's hair
Thank you.
cutter.
There we go.
He also says at some point, which I'm surprised no one used a quip, was jail food is the best food in the world.
Oh, that was pretty good.
He did say that. I mean, like the big point of controversy is all about the food, and like these two guys who were breaking off just did not like the food selection of the rest of the team.
Well,
It was radishes. We had a real issue with radishes.
Was
We have to
it
talk about the
radishes or horseradishes?
No, it was radishes.
Or
There
was
was a
it pickled horseradishes?
We had a misinterpretation of what a radish was.
I think so.
their big complaint was about like brown rice versus white rice. They were like, "This is rich people food, not poor people food. We poor. We got to eat poor people food."
I mean, if the brown rice was a lot more expensive than the white rice, he kind of has a point. They should probably be ordering the cheapest rice they have.
But then they bought all the Oreos.
All right. I need a different take here, maybe from somebody who watched from a different location, because when I watched it, it's like my take wasn't white rice versus brown rice. It was we should just buy some rice because rice is cheap instead of buying these fancy like spices and herbs and like all these quote rich people whole foods. Can I get a second take on this?
I think it's
No
both.
sign language.
It's like both, right? Like they wanted to buy cheap staples, beans, rice, Vienna sausages.
Maruchan ramen.
Yeah, but then also, then they're like, wow, I can get I forget the exact figures they threw out, but it was like a pound of rice for like $1 versus a pound of brown rice for like $20, they said, or whatever it was. And like, this is crazy, which made sense.
Yeah,
I mean, they definitely tried to make both points. I agree.
Like,
was the brown rice actually more expensive, or did they just see rice that was different? Or like, this must cost $20?
That's the question.
That's also connecting to the current political party.
I love that everyone on this pod is just doing random accents constantly for no reason.
I mean, you got to do an accent. Got to have your hillbilly red accent.
Hey, don't infringe on my Utopia state of freedom rights to speak how I want to speak.
Yes. So the big conflict in this episode is that these two just refuse to get along. They like at some point are just like stomping cans of pineapples and like just being like obnoxious, and everyone else is just trying to avoid them at all costs.
Yeah.
Like they literally steal $800 out of the communal money. It's because it's their money, and just like they let it happen because they didn't want the like struggle to continue with these two.
What's unclear was it because they didn't want the struggle. It's like we saw someone catch them trying to break into the safe and just be like, "Oh, can you guys help out with
Well, it
this
happened
later?"
twice.
Well, the first
Go
time
ahead.
somebody caught them was the most airheaded person I've seen on reality in quite some time.
Yeah.
Can you
Bella.
describe what she did right after catching them?
Survivalist Bella, she went and hugged herself or something.
That's correct. She needed help from someone herself, is what they said. Which I thought was
Maybe she was having a rough day.
Yeah, I'm going through Entertainment Weekly at the time of the series launching. Did like a
That's the most Noah statement of all time.
They went through a quick bio of each person. Red's bio is the best. His last name is Van Winkle. Red
Van Winkle.
That's good. That's a good
His
name.
occupation.
Whoa, that sounds like a fancy person name.
Yeah.
It's a rich person name.
Yeah, he's a handyman, farmer, moonshiner, home builder, and natural medicine man. Like,
Can you find his TikToks? Is he on TikTok? I feel like he'd be a great TikTok follow.
Is his natural medicine just his moonshine?
could be.
Well, could be something else. Never know. But it sounds like a great resume for Utopia, doesn't it? For like a person, like that's exactly who you would want.
You're spot on. Spot on.
I can't tell if the people that casted the show are terrible at their job or great at their job. Like, you pick these people that like literally cannot get along. They will never get along, and you put them in this Utopia project to see if they can get along for a year. I feel like you failed. There's no way Red is gonna go along with all these people on the show. And especially when you get him riled up with another guy that's like, even I don't know if he's further away, just like degenerate guy, and they're just together, and it's like this takes over the whole show, which makes entertaining television, which is great, but not great to have a 52-week long television show.
I think the shame is we'll never find out because it was canceled. maybe
Well,
maybe
I would say
20 weeks in, it would have worked out.
Well, no, the question is did they fail because of the people on the show, or did they fail just because the format of the show is never going to succeed?
Well, I think it was amazing casting. I think these are the people we want to watch.
Here's the thing. It's the 10-year anniversary of who put this on. We're bringing it back. Let's bring back Utopia 10 years later. We're bringing it back.
There's almost 15 people on this podcast, so maybe if we threw all of us.
Chris, do you think we could create a Utopia?
More than these people.
How much ramen would you buy?
Well, Harrison said he did the math and ramen wouldn't work out.
Well, I think that Rob actually did the math, but like, I mean, I said, what if you just bought $5,000 worth of ramen? Oh yeah, VJ did the math. Okay, what if you just bought $5,000 worth of ramen? Like, you might be able to get there for a year.
On our math, it basically seemed like if each ramen costs $0.25, then you could have over 4 per person per day, which seems pretty sustainable.
You can't eat ramen all day for a year. Your body's gonna be so. It's not. That person's pregnant. I don't think it's gonna be okay.
I agree with that. But then what we came up with was like, what if you just buy enough ramen for there to be 1 ramen per person per day? So at least everyone knows that they're set for the year. They have that at the backup.
Yeah. You spend like 25% of your money on a ramen safety net for the camp. Like, you just have a baseline of ramen in case it all goes to shit.
And we know safety nets make people feel happier and more productive in society in general. So that would work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can go risk the rest of your money on whatever kind of crazy, like, I don't understand what they're going to do to try and make this $5,000 last for a year. Like, what kind of money-making ventures they're going to have to get into here. Like, it was alluded to that they can order from the phone a computer and maybe start some kind of internet-based business. I'm not really sure.
Here's what you do, Harrison. You start taking like promotional content from like Nike or whatever, and then Nike ships them all the shoes, and they're just wearing Nikes, and like then they're just living it up. They're on this TV show. They're all wearing Nikes.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a shame Cameo wasn't around because you could be doing cameos from the farm.
Yeah.
I mean, if OnlyFans was around, they got a lot of OnlyFans kind of content with these people too.
I mean, this could be like an influencer house. They could do some little dances.
So is that the 10-year anniversary of Utopia? It's just influence Utopia.
Utopia : influencer. But like, are they actually trying to create a money-making venture, or is the idea like I buy $5,000 and I set up my chicken tractor and my carrot garden, and I don't know what their plan is,
and we're gonna buy a refrigerator,
and it just, you build a self-sustaining ecosystem. Like, I know Harris is shaking his head because it's not going to work, but like, do they think that's going to work?
It's the wrong way to go with your strategy, I think.
What the hell are you gonna do?
I already discussed my platform. As we said with VJ, 25%. ramen safety net, and then you take however much it costs to buy a computer, and you make that investment, and then you start some kind of internet business from the farm. You could sell
What is your business?
Pictures. You could sell.
I'm succeeding from the Utopia. I'm out.
Freedom.
The Utopia's freedom podcast movement.
Harris is just selling used underwear on the internet.
Hey, people pay for that stuff.
Yeah, like foot pictures. You do whatever the hell it takes. Like you make some more money. We've already spent 1250. You're down to 3750. You need more money for the year.
Yo, me and Annabeth are on the Utopia's Podem of Freedom. Who else is coming with?
Yeah, they're in the poor country.
Hey, I'd like to hear some other pitches for your platform for Utopia.
I don't have a pitch. I have a question. What if the for Utopia 2024, it's you can have $5,000, or you get set up with like a phone with good service, and I get all Cameo accounts and stuff like that, and it's seeding to sort of set up your influencer business. Which one do you pick? The $5,000, but then you don't have any of this stuff. You could use the 5,000 to try to set it up, or it's like we'll just set you up with stuff to start your influencer campaign.
It's not even close. You take the freaking phone. You're on network TV. Network TV is still the most watched TV in all the country. We're not like your fame is automated.
Yeah, like I do think that what Chris was saying earlier, the move is you just start selling sponsorships. You start doing whatever. You start putting logos all over this place. Let's buy a printer.
It's fucking NASCAR.
Sorry.
Wait, no, it's back to live tattoos. On air tattoos. Get that brand. Let's go.
Speaking of get that brand, what about an actual brand? A live branding.
What happened
Wow.
when you run out of skin, James?
This is all escalated way too quickly. I'm out.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard if you got a sizzling like "Just Do It" on you.
Yeah.
How do we make money off the fact that one of these people is pregnant and can have a baby?
Oh wow.
Name the baby competition.
Naming
Yeah.
rights.
Auction to name the baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nike, Adidas.
You guys are gross.
What was the plan with this lady? She cannot give birth in this Utopia.
She's gonna try.
No, they got the health doctor guy. He got the home medicine. Don't worry.
Yeah, the water birth in that big lake thing.
I think it's an important part of proving the experiment successful that you can deliver a baby in this society.
But she doesn't need to.
No, it's the circle of life. You have to prove that you can do it for a successful society.
What if they prove it's false?
Prove the baby's false?
You can't deliver a baby.
No, he's saying, what if
the child?
You got lost in the circle.
you do a test to see if you can build this Utopia, and you're like, well, the baby died. I guess it didn't work.
Right, now we know. Then you know. That's what you got to.
I mean,
why
the
else
stakes
would you do
are-
science?
the
You
stakes
do
are just
science
too
to
high.
learn.
The stakes are just too high.
Ugh.
But we talk about shows with no stakes. This, it's refreshing
I
to have
mean,
such high stakes.
This is definitely like from watching how many countless numbers of reality shows at this point. It is a nice flashback to like Fox spent $50 million on this. There's a lot of money into this show. Like this is not. We talked in the first version. We talked about how cheap the show was. Not cheap. This is not cheap at all.
Well, like I assume you must have an immense budget to pay these people to be on your set for 1 year.
What was $50 million? The land?
That's what I mean.
No.
Line is that Fox spent $50 million on the show.
Dang.
So I looked into this. So what they did, they kind of took an expensive route. They went Santa Clarita, California, and they found an area there. And they're like, okay, we're basically going to turn this into a permanent set because they expected this to like produce like 20 seasons. And so they invested like real big at the forefront, right? To for dividends.
Go big or go home.
And it pays for itself.
I mean, you make that big investment up front. You gotta like go more than 8 episodes. That's crazy. That's insane.
Well, I was reading about this. So this is a show that was based on a Dutch version of the show, and the Dutch version premiered in like January, and this is September. So this is 9 months later. Which
Dutch
is
version is still going by the time this show starts.
Yeah. And what they found out was
to this day.
We all looked at you, thought of it today.
Celebrating the 10 years of Utopia.
Is the Dutch Utopia State of Freedom still alive?
And they found that the ratings were really high at first, which is why they greenlit the show. Then the ratings just kind of fell off. And so they just weren't like, they were kind of that's what was happening to this show, obviously. And then it wasn't worth the investment, I guess, anymore.
Well, like, I assume that's like got to be the pattern it has with every show that is in this pattern of show category, right? Where it's like there's a bunch of hype, like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. You watch it a couple, and then you're like, it turns out it's the same problems that every other society has and whatever. And then you kind of forget about it and you get bored. I don't know.
But this is so interesting because this is like a mix of homesteading and Big Brother, and Big Brother was so successful that it continues to this day. So if they added some kind of mechanic of maybe voting people off or some other thing, this could have worked. They just didn't have like enough drama week to week, I think.
Yeah. Well, also, this comes from the guy that produces Big Brother. Like, so Big Brother is like famously from like Endemol, right? And so John DeMol, like from Endemol, like this is his show. He did The Voice. He's like, and so you got someone who's pitching a product that's like, guys, I did it twice. You're like, let me do my thing.
Give me $50 million.
You give him $50 million. Like, I think you do it, right? Like the guy's like making it rain.
Well, the one thing about the Dutch version of the show is that it was just in a park. Like you could literally go and hang out with these people.
Oh, that's awesome!
Wild.
Wow.
And like the producers of the U.S. version were like, "Avi, we're not doing this in a park. I can't. We gotta close everything. We just gotta be what we want. You know, typical U.S." Another accent for you, VJ.
In like 2014 though, Fox spending $50 million for a like primetime show that shows 2 nights of the week is like just normal, right? Like, and that's why you're saying like then we thought it was cheap, right? Like it's like not that big a deal. Like it's like they're taking 2 primetime spots every week.
Yeah, I mean, but they would kill for these numbers. I think those numbers today, like the numbers the show,
they would murder people. It's not even a question.
Like it was like almost 2.5 to like 1.2, whatever were the numbers, which is really good for like a show today. So
that's right.
Yeah, I guess John DeMol knew.
Yeah, John DeMol knew those numbers were going to be good in 10 years. So
time to bring it back.
That's why you got to make that investment up front.
Should we go find this place?
Wait, I have a question. Do we know, did the experiment continue the whole year and was not televised?
No.
Or did they send the people home?
They obviously sent
That
What
would've
if
been
they're
crazy.
still going to this day and we don't know?
There's no way.
They never got them out. Where are they?
Well, that's why we got to go find the place.
It's like it's kind of easier to make a clean break in this situation because there's no prize for the end of this thing. But if there was like a prize at the end, like it's hard to just cut it short.
No, I mean the prize is living in a utopia.
Do people
And
remember
the
the
friends you
ending?
made along the way.
Like, did they show it as an ending, or did we just stop getting episodes? I don't remember.
I found on YouTube there was the last 2 hours of Utopia, which was like the last 22 hours of the 24-hour live stream or whatever, and it just like cuts. It doesn't like there's no producers coming in saying, "Hey, it's over." This shit's just over.
Like there was like a helicopter evac scene or like you gotta go now.
There was nothing. So I don't know on
just
week 8
stream
what
end.
they did on the last actual episode of the show. I have no idea, but I know the last live stream part was like nothing.
Do we know how much money they had after week 8? That's all I want to
That's a
know.
good question.
Well, there's 2 groups. There's the main group and Utopia State of Freedom.
I wanna
We
know-
need to know both their financial.
I want to see both
situations.
balance sheets for sure.
One thing on our first podcast is Harrison and I kind of butted heads a bit. 'Cause
Oh.
I was like, no one should ever watch this show. I'm like, this show is terrible. Do not watch this. And Harrison's like, I don't know, man. I think that it's pretty good. I kind of want to know.
Dude, I think based on episode 2, I might want to rewatch this thing again. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm very much looking
Aw.
forward to this.
But what I did find watch is like it felt very much like more of like a throwback kind of like it didn't feel like a modern show and stuff like that. Like one thing I was like, there's no confessionals in this show, and I kept waiting for them to kind of. They're like, when are we going to get confessional with Utopia State of Freedom? And it just didn't happen and stuff. So just it doesn't feel like it feels different.
Yeah, they did have to pick, I think, people with strong attitudes to like express their opinions and everything. Where the show's gonna be boring. Like I feel like we saw the Red and Dave so much because they were expressing themselves and they were like the exciting bunch, and everyone else is like either making out in the hot tub or like doing work, which doing work's like not exciting.
But like, here's the thing: when you're in your Utopia, you're not trying to fight everybody. You're trying to chill in the hot tub, yo.
Yeah, that just doesn't make for a good show.
It's true.
This is the problem with having this as a TV show concept.
What hot tub are you talking about?
Yeah.
Was there a hot tub?
Yeah, no, there was like some kind of hot
There was.
springs or something. Like it was like a kind of natural looking one.
Literally a hot tub.
Was it hot?
No, it was a
I don't-
bathtub above a fire, right, Chris?
Yep.
There was a
Uh,
bathtub above a fire.
I think there's
That-
two
They
things.
called it a hot tub.
Yes, it was a bathtub. They literally took a tub, they put it on top of like a fire pit.
They did do that, but then there was also like with the lake. There was like a part of the lake that they were making out in. It looked like a tub of sorts, but it was different than the other tub.
That might have been a cool tub.
It might have been a cool tub in many aspects of the term. I think that's all I have for like this episode of TV.
Oh, we've barely even touched on the chicken tractor.
Tractor.
There's so much.
Go, Max. Go.
Max, tee it up.
Okay, there's this one lady who is her name is Bella. She's a survivalist. The first real impression I got of her in this episode is like they're like, we should buy stuff that's like we should buy stuff. So somebody's like, we should get a fridge. Yes. She's like, we should get a water filter. I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's like, a lot of y'all don't realize there's something called fluoride in the water. That water filter is really important for all of our survival. So she thinks fluoride's going to kill you. Anyway, all of this to say, she wants to make a thing called a chicken tractor, which is you let your chickens peck at the ground, and she says that'll do the same work as a man tilling the ground in one day.
Which is incorrect.
It seems highly unlikely.
You don't know that, Chris. We haven't seen the chicken tractor in action yet.
The chicken tractor was in action in this episode, but we don't know how much work they did.
And how many chickens?
I don't think we saw the chicken tractor because I'm trying to pull up the quote. And
We have there's the chicken transporter.
Yes, we
That's
saw the
just-
chicken transporter. I don't think we saw the chicken tractor.
So
I think the pen is the tractor.
So stupid.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
the
chicken
pen was
tra-
not the tractor.
the
It was very, very
transport-
different.
So the transporter took the chickens from the like pen, the like where they sleep, to the pen.
The coop, you might say.
Coop to the chicken tractor, which sometimes they're one and the same, which is like a moving coop. That anyway, so the idea here is that you would have chickens like poop and pee and like aerate the ground for you to farm on. But like you can't just farm on it right after that. Like it's gotta sit.
No? You sure?
I don't. It's not maybe you can, but it's not the point. Like I'm sure you could have just farmed on that land before you had a chicken's feed on it.
Just what's like the fastest growing crop that they could be getting in the ground in this moment, like to get actual food in some kind of reasonable amount of time. Like
Bamboo
Corn.
shoots.
It's got to be corn, right? Like grow some fucking corn.
yeah, but how long does corn take to grow though?
I don't
Does it take like 6 months to grow?
Well,
I don't know.
But
It can't take that long. Corn grows like everywhere, doesn't it?
But
No,
if this
not in
is
California.
this is live, this is September. Can you plant corn in September? I
this
thought
is
corn was
This is California, so you can like the growing season's like all year round.
but I don't. I think it depends on the like. I think corn doesn't grow in
No,
California.
you
There's
can't
certain
grow corn in California.
you need to know the climate.
You can't grow corn in California, where you don't.
I googled fastest growing crops, and you guys are gonna like the result. It's radishes.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Wait, radishes or horseradishes?
or pickled horseradishes.
Oh man, that guy's not gonna want to hear that. How long on that radish? 1 month. 1 month on the radish. Just like you're putting those radish. It's gonna take a whole month to get anything out of it.
And then you add it to the ramen and you got a whole meal.
It's right, yeah.
Amazing. Wait,
That's
can
why
someone...
we gotta get the jail food. We can't be waiting a month for some freaking pickled radishes. We gotta just buy some cheap jail food,
Best food.
guys.
This is the best food in the world.
It's better than Utopia. Wait, can someone explain to me the difference between a chicken tractor and a chicken transporter?
No.
The chicken
No.
transporter is just smaller and
No.
doesn't sit on the ground. The chicken tractor would sit on the ground. It's just a pen.
Oh, a moving pen?
Yeah, it's a moving
Yes.
pen.
Okay.
But like, it wasn't
That's all
on.
I need.
The pen isn't on wheels. They have to
No.
like pick up the fencing and like move it, right?
Yeah, so
It's not like
the chicken tractor that we saw was just a temporary fence that they set up to test out the idea, is what was claimed.
I thought that the tractor was the transporter.
No. So yeah, they explained it really poorly in the show. My understanding was that basically you just have chickens in a fenced off area and they till the ground and do the job of a tractor, and that's chicken tractor. And the thing that they showed with wheels is actually the chicken mover, except they kept saying chicken tractor while standing next to it.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm with it.
All right, we got to the bottom of that.
This is
I
why they
found sorry, I've been looking this whole time exactly where they shot this. I
Yeah.
found the precise location.
Can you Airbnb it?
Yeah, it's what?
Can you Airbnb it?
Kind of. I mean, it's like a studio you can like rent out. So yeah, I mean,
But like if it's on VRBO too, that's fine. We'll take that money either way.
yeah,
that would be a good who put this on field trip.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
this is one of the ways they should be making money on the show is renting out. You can come and stay with them for a night or whatever.
There you
$1,000,
go.
baby, come and stay on Utopia.
Yeah, you got to sign a bunch of waivers and stuff.
Yeah.
And promise to bang me. But I mean, like, there's a lot of inappropriate stuff happening in this show.
Noah, we need the details. Where is it? What?
Oh,
What? How many
yeah.
bedrooms? What's
I
going on?
mean, it's in Santa Clarita. It's called Sable Ranch. It's a movie studio. It's like now like a studio, and yeah, I mean, there's not much more to that, but you can go Google it. Rancho Maria Sable.com.
This looks nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, this is where it was shot. I don't know what to say.
There you go.
Well, like they just built a whole bunch of like a set on it. Like that's why it doesn't look like it. But
Well,
the
no,
land
like, that's to the one part of it, right? But
yeah. Well, I'm responding to Chris' reaction of how it doesn't look like. Well, it looks like a Western because I assume they, filmed some kind of Western there.
yeah,
Westworld.
Oh,
Possible. We're all looking at it right now.
I mean, I think it would have been more interesting if the set was the old West Town than the farm.
Yeah,
That'd be
I mean,
fun. Yeah.
Then here's the lake. Found the
Oh
lake.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're really setting the expectations that you're going to farm for a year here, and I just can't imagine them doing
It's
that.
the wrong strategy. maybe plant some potatoes. Maybe plant a couple of things. Like,
well, that's the thing. Okay, great. You got a radish. Then what are you gonna do with the radish? You're gonna do shit with that. You're gonna eat a radish every day? You tell
you're
me
gonna pickle it
radish
for when this
is better
when this
than the
starts.
ramen. I think I'm siding with the Utopia State of Freedom guys now, guys.
You're the Utopia State of Freedom.
you got to
Oh,
get those chickens out of the chicken tractor. Focus on having them lay eggs. People can eat a bunch of eggs. Like that's like I don't know why they're distracting the chickens.
That was also one of the contentions. Is like when you move. Apparently, if you move the chickens, it's stressful for the chickens, and then they don't lay an egg,
Makes sense.
and then you don't have an egg. Obviously.
I like the point where Bella had to tell the group that they need to stop questioning all her decisions because she knows what she's doing. As everyone gave looks of, I'm questioning all your decisions.
So one thing we haven't touched on is there's a very limited host in this show.
Oh yeah.
Dan Ferraro.
Who is this guy? What's he doing?
Wait. You mean the guy with the disguise mustache, clown nose, glasses combo thing that you get at the store? I'm sorry.
That
this
was
guy-
real.
It's like, man, that really was bugging me for the longest. I couldn't figure out what it was, and then that was, and I couldn't unsee it.
Do you think the plan was supposed to be an episode in the 52nd week he rips off the disguise?
He looks like he could be from Clue. Like he's the caricature of some guy in Clue.
His vibe is completely different from the vibe of the show.
Yeah, he's got like a weird hat. What kind of hat would you describe this? It's like a bowler hat of some kind.
Yeah.
Like a Monopoly man.
Yeah, and he's got these really weird glasses, especially for the time. Like I feel like they fitted way more in 2024 than they do in 2014.
Yeah.
And then he's got this crazy mustache.
Little twirly mustache.
Little twirly mustache. He definitely. I feel like he looks Dutch, but I have no idea. I don't have anything to back.
Is he the host of the Dutch Mole? Not Mole. The Dutch Utopia. I'm talking about John de Mol. The John de Mol now.
Cooper
I mean, I'm on his Wikipedia, obviously. Like, he's from Kansas City, Missouri. Like,
so he's a cartoonist.
Cartoonist.
Yeah, like
he looks like a cartoonist.
He does look like a cartoonist.
He's dating somebody named Olive Oil.
All right, Popeye.
Literally.
Did you just edit his Wikipedia page to say that?
No. Also, his partner also goes by O2.
Okay, last thing in this episode, if you're trying to wrap it up, Chris, is I think that like the reason why I'm excited to keep watching it after episode 2 is like the way that this ends is that like the Utopia State of Freedom has broken away. They have stolen their money or taken their share of the money from the main pot. They've placed their own DoorDash order to the farm, and they have bought just all the stuff they want. They got a 2-liter of Pepsi. They got some Oreos. They got some burgers. It looks like some.
I thought it was hot dogs.
Some chips, like just like a bunch of like basically like party food. And then what they did is they just threw a big party, and they're like, "Hey, everybody, come on over to the Utopia State of Freedom." They're trying to convince them to take their shares out and join it. Like I'm kind of rooting for these guys to like recruit as many people as possible to like just see how horribly the whole thing is going to burn. I want to see the next day when there's 20 people eating steaks like in the thing.
So I don't know if you want spoiler, but if I was in the other 13 people in this, just kick these two out. They don't want to be here. Just get them out.
Is there a mechanism?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just going to spoil it. So we don't want to know.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the very first episode as well, is that they do get kicked out. I don't know how, why, or what happens, but they do get kicked out.
They bring new people in, and then they have like a voting session, I believe.
Well, they're trying to make it like a democracy and vote, which seems like 15 people. You should probably be able to do that. But with the set of people on the show, clearly not happening.
I would think does it take a unanimous vote to vote somebody out? Or, well, I guess it wouldn't be unanimous if it's two of them.
They're not even part of the Utopia society anymore. They're part of their own society. I
guess I got to watch the show, and I have watched the show before 10 years ago.
You're just going to remember it. It's just like, oh, yeah, this happens. Oh, yeah, this happens. I almost thought we were going to have to audible to do Dating Naked, which was episode 2 of Who Put This On.
Oh.
But I'm glad we found this episode. It's pretty good. Any other minutia, Max, you want to bring up?
Couple things. There's the sex B story. Just like there's two people trying to figure out where to sex. And the girl's like, "What you thinking about?" And the guy's like, "Where could you fuck around here?" And the episode ends with them in the barn filling each other up. The only other thing,
moves.
Yes, a cow moves because it is a barn. And the lights, turning on a light switch. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, everybody immediately said that looks fake as hell. Basically,
well, they did like this fake out where they plugged it in. And then the end of the show made it seem like it turned on for a second and turned off, and then turned on again. And that's what Harrison's like referring to as like that looked hella fake.
But clearly, like they didn't show them reacting to these lights flickering and going off and back on. They just like show them plugging it in, just show the outside lights going on and off. The lights are on, then back inside they're reacting. So it's like clearly the lights just turned on.
Also, there's no way they let that general contractor actually do any electrical work on this.
And that's Utopia. You do whatever you want. It's private land.
I think so.
No, that's normal Utopia, not the State of Freedom.
I'm just saying, private land. If you don't get drunk driving on that tractor. Were you think he was driving the chicken tractor or like a real tractor?
Chicken tractor, Chris. We've gone over this so many times. It's not a real tractor.
I just don't remember the context of the tractor drunk driving like You talked about it, but there was no tractor in this episode.
I have no idea, dude.
The only tractor they've talked about is a chicken tractor. So that's the only thing you're moving the chickens. Is that can you get a DUI on that?
What if the chicken's drunk? Is that a problem?
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I don't think you can intoxicate a chicken. I
Sure
think
you
that
can.
might be a break in some kind of law, but if you get a chicken drunk intentionally,
It's not
like
It's
some
not
kind of
against the-
PETA or something. What's up with
PETA.
the PETA? That one.
it's not against the law in Utopia.
You're telling me you can't get a chicken drunk, but you can just kill it and eat it? Like, what kind of laws are this?
PETA would also be against that other thing too.
That's true.
No, but that's humanely killing it, not getting it drunk first.
You're giving it a fun time before you kill it.
Isn't there a dish called like drunken chicken or something?
If not, there should be.
Love that truck.
Max, is this all the
That's all I got.
all the moves you have? So one thing we had in the first season or first episode was we had what is the best and worst character was our one question.
Wow.
Which clearly we don't do that anymore because but we did change it to who was the worst human being on the show.
I mean, it's clearly obvious the monster's destroying the food. You can't be
which
one?
both of them. You destroy food,
gotta
you're
pick
done.
one. I think
Both.
that's more
They're equal. You destroyed food. Both dead.
I feel like Red is egging Dave on.
Yeah.
Dave eggs on Red. But Dave, I think, is the more destructive person in this situation.
I don't know, because like when the whole canned pineapple thing happened, like Dave's getting into it with the guy. Dave throws the cans to the ground, and Red just comes in out of nowhere, just starts stomping the cans completely unprovoked.
Red is the wild card in this situation. He's the one that's just doing wild card shit.
So for Red, did we talk about the height situation where basically these two people are in a fight and this person's like, you're short and then you're just 1 inch taller than me, and he's like I'm actually a half a foot taller than you, and then they both just laugh at the joke and hug it out. What kind of reaction is that? And then that fight's over. These people are friends now.
And that fight started because he wouldn't help with the electricity or something. He's like, you wouldn't even be doing it if I didn't tell you what to do. And I'm just, so maybe it is Red. I don't know.
I vote Red.
What do you vote, Anna?
I think I say Red.
VJ, what do you say? Red?
Red, yeah. If I don't remember who stomped first, but Rob saying Red stomped first. Starting the stomping on the food is definitely making you the worst person.
All right, James, who you going with both?
Yeah. Well, both, but Red for because of he did do it first, hence the first to act, hence the ultimate worst. But they're both terrible.
Harrison, you also
yeah. I mean, Red did stomp first, and he's kind of the ringleader of of the State of Freedom, and kind of getting that whole thing together. So
I was like how proud of himself Red is when he comes to the name. It's like the Utopia state of freedom.
Brian, what do you think? You think it's Red?
I originally thought that Dave stomped first, I thought he was the one that was throwing stuff off, and then Red just came in and stomped.
Dave throws
after
it
all
on the
that.
ground, but Red is the one who stomps first.
Okay. Yeah, I also thought Dave did before that, but anyway, yeah, I think Red. I'm fine with that.
I think it's Dave. I still think it's Dave.
Oh.
He's the guy complaining about them spending money on a water filter and really starting this whole don't spend my money on stupid shit.
I gotta say, when Dave's like, I don't want you spending money on a water filter, I'm like, good point, Dave.
Yeah,
It's the only time I've agreed with you the whole episode.
Yeah, he's on the right side of history with that one.
But wasn't there a lot of dirty water there too? I don't
No,
know.
they have tap water.
Oh,
It
they have
said
tap water? Never
fluoride
mind.
in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was
I just felt like Dave was complaining, but I think if Red hadn't been masterminding the movement, nothing really would have happened.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So Red it is.
Red is actually effective, but Dave has a temper tantrum that he can't look at some seeds. He's a little baby.
I mean, both of them, I agree, are terrible. Like the two of them together are the worst. One by one, they might be okay, but they're just like egging this vortex of terribleness.
But also, like, I want to see them burn the whole show down. Like, I want to see what happens.
I just want to like. You said that Red is a marijuana farmer now, and like Red just seems like so much like a MAGA person to me. But like he grows marijuana. That's got to be like that can't be good if you're a MAGA person.
I mean, I don't think that's a partisan issue these days. I don't know.
I did a brief scroll down on his Facebook, and I Control F Trump. Nothing surprising.
Yeah. Anyway, so we do the first episode. We did drinking rules, which we still do drinking rules today. Max, do you have a drinking rule?
Every time you drink fluoride, die young.
Brian, do you have a drinking rule?
Every time you see red on screen, yell freedom and take a drink.
Noah?
Every time someone mentions horseradish, take a little sip of horseradish cream.
Is it just a big bite?
Gross. I think in the first episode we had anytime there's like an argument, take a drink. I feel like you'd probably be dead if you did that.
I got one. It is every time somebody's banging.
Drink while they bang.
Or just naked.
Naked, I think, is a good one.
Every time groceries are delivered, you have to guess one item in the grocery, and if you're wrong, you drink.
Ooh. What if you're right?
Then you assign a drink.
Okay, that's good.
I think you need to drink every time there's a chicken-related conversation.
So like every time somebody's working on a totally useless invention, you can drink.
How about drinking every time someone mentions their skills? They're like, "This is my real life skills." You drink that.
Building on the chicken factory concept, if you're watching with any friends, this is the community game drinking role. Every time one of your friends mistakes the chicken tractor for an actual tractor, drink. As everybody drink.
What about if they mistake the chicken transporter for the chicken tractor?
Anytime there's confusion about the chicken related transport or tractor or the concept of any of this chicken stuff, everybody drinks.
I think when anyone gets kicked off, you got to take as many shots as Dave was in jail in solidarity.
Well, you don't know, so you can just finish the drinks.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. Just finish the bottle of liquor.
Do you finish the bottle of liquor when the show gets canceled too?
Yeah, when everyone gets kicked off, which is ever,
So before we move on from drinking rules, I found in 2019. I don't think we talked about this on the podcast. Maybe we did one time. I made the Who Put This On drinking game to drink while you listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
We can see if we think that it still applies or not.
Okay.
So I had drink every time someone gets someone's name on the show wrong. Drink every time someone says minutia.
Mm-hmm.
Drink every time someone says, "Here's the thing about that show." Drink every time someone says, "Give it to me."
Man, I'm doing the mental game of going along here of like how many drinks I've had to do tonight, and I feel like we're doing okay. So maybe I don't know if like these were. I think we're. How we doing?
Maybe the terminology has changed.
All right, drink every time someone discusses how the show needs a podcast in the show.
That would have been good for this one though.
Drink every time there's a reference to an MTV show that is not the show we're talking about. Drink every time we go to the internet corner. And then there's take a shot / finish your drink if there's a 24 reference, and take a shot / finish your drink if there's a Utopia reference. So if you do that one, in our 10-year Utopia reunion, you are dead.
Sorry. It's like this show that disappeared 9 years ago. Like if we make a reference to that,
It lives on in our hearts.
we have definitely made a reference to Utopia. I think a couple times.
It's more than a couple times. It happens like every couple months.
Since we've So if you can't tell, we've changed hosts generally, except for me. So Utopia references are, not as common as they once were.
But now
they can come back. Get ready. Since
Utopia rewatch dedicated podcast.
Oh shit. How many episodes did they air in the 8? Is it 8 weeks or 8 episodes?
8 weeks, 12 episodes.
Okay.
Which I think you would miss the 3 episodes were like week 1 or something.
Should we make these like those 3-hour Ringer Game of Thrones podcast episodes? Like every episode is a 3-hour podcast. We do 3-hour Utopia.
I don't know how the Ringer does 3-hour podcasts. That's so long.
I haven't listened to these, but apparently Beach listens to some, and he's like, 1 week she has COVID and can barely talk, and they still do a 3-hour podcast.
Good
I like
God.
often just go to bed listening to these podcasts and then just sleep through like 2.5 hours of it after listening to the first hour. Because like it's House of the Dragon, the episode's 1 hour, but they're talking about it for 3.5 hours. I don't understand, like, are they editing it a bunch? Like they must have to take breaks. Like people gotta pee, people gotta eat. Like I don't understand what's going on.
Hey, I've seen 3.5-hour movies. I didn't have to pee.
I gotta pee usually.
Wow. All right. All right. So I have my favorite new question that we've asked recently. Max, what speed do you guys think Max watched this show at? Did you think he watched it at 1x, 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, 2? Harrison.
Wait. First, like, give people the context of what has been the highest number Max has said so far.
Max had said 2.6x
Okay.
for a show recently.
I think this is going to be a 1.75x.
James, do you have a guess?
1.4, Bob.
He just did 1x because, like, Daily Motion website, probably he's had some issues there. I don't know.
I think VJ is right. I'll say 1.2 to say something different.
1.25.
I'll take 2. Noah, you have a guess?
1. This is a oneer. It was too important of an episode. If this was a, we're just going in again, right? Like we're doing our shtick. This would be a 1.5.
Our shtick. Brian, you got a guess for us?
Yeah, I'm going with 1 for the similar reasons as Noah. It's too important. He's got to capture every detail.
Max, what was it?
Noah is correct in that this show is too important that I couldn't go any faster than 1.25, so Annabeth wins.
Wow.
Oh.
Daily Motion has the speed built in.
I didn't know you could do it on Daily Motion, so good job.
Now you know.
We'll skip the love of the show. There's too many people. We'll do ratings. So we do a stack ranking system, which we didn't do in the first episode. So this is the first time we'll be rating this a top, middle, or bottom third show. Max, what do you got for me?
We've watched a lot of shows, and this episode was memorable. I remember the chicken tractor. I remember Red and stuff. I have to throw it in the bottom of the top, but top third show.
Brian, what do you got for me?
I'm going bottom of the top. This was wild. I forgot all about this, and I kind of want to watch the rest of it. And I know it's going to end, and very abruptly.
Especially since who knows how many episodes are on Daily Motion.
Yeah, good luck finding the rest of it.
No, I'll find the torrent. We're good.
Good luck. I tried.
What about the DVDs? They got the DVDs on
Definitely
Amazon?
don't have the DVDs.
I'm not paying money for this.
What do you got for us, Noah?
Yeah, I know this has like a sentimental feeling in our heart, but this is a bottom show. It is the top to the bottom. I do think this has some really good one-liners in it, but this was like watching paint dry it sometimes, so yeah, if went from an hour show to 30 minutes, I think we might be cooking, but we're not.
Harrison, what do you got for us?
I think this is going to have to be a top third show. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, it's pretty compelling. It's from the era of reality TV where it's a little bit looser. I think they got a lot of good conflicting personalities in here. A lot of good, I don't know. Top third.
James, what do you got?
This is going in the top. Quite simply, there's a bunch of interesting people that I think you get kind of pulled in, and if they catch you, you kind of want to keep finding what goes on with them. So for that reason, in the top third, just barely though, bottom top third.
VJ, what do you got?
I think the show itself is like, I'll agree with the people who said bottom of the top, but knowing that it abruptly ends with no satisfaction, it kind of just takes one notch lower. So I'll give it top of the middle.
Rob, what do you got for us?
So I part of my brand is like I do like shows that are like not on rails, that are kind of just like a show where it's sort of like, do they have a plan here where this is going? So I did kind of enjoy that. So I didn't feel like an enjoyment was a top third show, but I do think if I watched more of it, it would quickly get old and not be very like sustainably good. So I'll give it a top third, but like I feel like it would not hold that over more viewings and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Annabeth, what do you got for us?
Absolutely top third. This is so good. Great. This is a great era of television before influencer culture. Great personalities. Nothing is scripted. Extremely weird. Love it. Love it. Great show.
Yeah. So I'm kind of conflicted here. Re-listening to the podcast, I would definitely put this in the bottom. But after watching like 500 episodes of reality TV, I'm going to put it in the middle. I don't think it's quite top because I think they were kind of one-noted a bit with like these two clearly crazy people on the show, and they had nothing else. Like nothing else was really going on. The show's not designed very well. Like what are we going to watch? People not vote anyone off and like farm? Like no one wants to watch that. So I can see why the show got canceled. So I'm going to put it in the middle because it's not boring. It was kind of interesting. And if you kick those two people off, I think the show is terrible. Like I don't think it'd be middle at that point. So that's what I'm going to go with for this. This is what you thought about this show on X at Who Put This On. Harrison and James just did Degeneration X signs.
Throw up the X.
The X.
Or is that Wakanda Forever?
Oh, that could be the Wakanda Forever. Yeah.
Should they rename X as Wakanda?
Wakanda. All right. So now we do shout outs at the end of the episode. What other people have been watching or want to shout out, like your Twitter handle, what other things you've been doing, which I don't think any of us are really doing anything else other than this. So would you put your resume on here? You can do that.
Well, I'll give a shout out that I actually I don't watch a ton of TV right now with two kids. I guess I'm watching a lot of Bat Wheels, but a couple months ago, Netflix dropped the latest season of The Mole, a top of the top reality show, and The Mole still got it. So I just finished the latest season a couple weeks ago, and it's still great.
It was a good season. Good host of this season.
Yet another new host.
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper's son.
It's another journalist. He's best buds with Alan Cumming, who's also hosting a show now.
All right. Did your kids also
Traitors?
They have not watched the show.
Okay.
Someday.
Annabeth, any shout outs?
I started watching The Golden Bachelorette over my lunch today, and it was wonderful so far. But I'm 30 minutes in, so I have a brief taste.
I permanently vetoed any Bachelor shows now. I can't do it.
She's making history as the first Golden Bachelorette. So
I watched The Gold Bachelor, and I think the 24-1 ratio just doesn't. It's just
don't do the first episode.
It's so gross.
You got to get in on the Golden Bachelorette, Chris.
I'm out.
Do it for the people.
Harrison, you have a shout out?
Okay, I got two quick shout outs. So one, if you kind of like Utopia, but you want a different setting, maybe I'm going to re-shout out The Colony, which is an amazing reality show we've done here before.
That should be the drinking world.
Anytime you talk about The Colony, you have Utopia, The Colony. Similar situation where there's a group of people that are in an abandoned warehouse, but then they actually invent some real shit, and it's amazing. People from me talk about it. It's been on the pod.
You literally talked about it on episode 1. That's all.
I'm sure because this show and The Colony are so similar, and like in this show, it's like they make dumb stuff like a chicken tractor. And in The Colony, some guy literally makes a machine that can charge a car battery off of burning wood, like which is fucking
Holy
crazy.
shit.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that we made it this deep into the pod before we brought up the colony.
I've
I was
been-
playing the mental game all night. He's
Oh,
got
yeah.
me just sitting over here chewing.
I've been thinking about it for a while. I've been thinking
like-
about it for a while. My second real short one, though, is the new season of The Challenge is out. It's called Battle of the Eras, and they have all 4 eras of The Challenge, from the old timers to the new timers, competing, season 40, and it's been good so far. Here you go. That's all I got.
Who are like 2 of your faves in this season?
Who are 2 of my faves in this season? Yeah, I mean,
Give me a
CT
taste.
is always good. I mean, gotta go with my man Bananas,
Which
course.
era is CT in?
CT's in era 1. He's
was
in
like-
the OGs.
Like he's been in all the eras. So which era is he? Like?
It's the era that you've made your first appearance, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
was
So
like,
yeah,
he's-
we got CT in era 1, we got Bananas in era 2, we got like Corey in era 3, and then you got Josh and all these new people in era 4, that kind of
all the
exact.
all the 4 people, all the people from the challenge or the survivor.
The Survivor.
Yeah, the survivor. VJ?
I have some comments. So Colony, firstly, I like the shows are kind of so similar to the point where like coming in, like I hadn't watched anything but like today, when I walked in, I thought we're watching the Colony, even though I knew we were watching Utopia. I just remembered watching Colony, and I was like, when did the fighting come? And like it just never came. I'm like, I guess it's a different show.
Yeah, when they have to build a gigantic flamethrower to ward off the invaders.
Right. I thought that was just a later episode of Utopia or something. But
Yeah, that's week 36.
And anyway, so shout outs. I watch a shit ton of TV. So I don't know. I've been watching everything. I watched all of How I Met Your Mother like last month. I watched it's good. Just watch it. The new Hulu show, Only Murders in the Building. New season of that. Really good. Best since season 1, I think. Oh, and I watched Netflix's new rom-com show, Nobody Wants This. Highly recommended. It's amazing. One thing I'll warn you, that somehow after you watch it, your TikTok will just be full of TikToks about it. But every TikTok will be fucking positive about the show. So that's good. So I like
What's that one called?
Nobody Wants This. It's the new
Oh,
Bell
yeah. Okay,
and
yeah.
that going amazing show. I watched it all like on Saturday in one sitting. I think I peed in the middle, but that's it. I didn't even move.
Whoa, you have to pee?
Wait,
That's it.
did you have to pee because of the show, or like just it was so long?
I mean, it was a 10-episode show. Like I had to get up one time, but that's it. I didn't get up any other time. I just sat there and watched.
Did you
the whole thing.
blink?
I'm not sure.
The way you said it made it sound like you didn't even get up. You just like peed in the middle and kept going.
No comment.
VJ, when you're gonna, binge watch a show.
And then other show that I've recently started rewatching is Monk, and I'm nearly done with season 1, and it's better than I remembered it.
This
Monk's
is
great.
Your semi-retired life.
Correct.
Any shout outs from the couch over there?
Oh wait, is the couch Noah? The couch is Noah.
Oh, I thought either one of us. Plus one of the VJs. Nobody Wants Us. Quite good. And then one other Netflix show. I'm not done with it, but Mr. McMahon. It's like a documentary about Vince McMahon and like the evolution of WWE. Pretty fascinating. Like just kind of surprising. I really thought it was very scripted, and like it's pretty loosey goosey. And like seeing like all the things they do, like that actually was real. Oh shit. Okay, so that's pretty neat.
I will +1 the McMahon show. The McMahon show is pretty good. Max, shout out? No shout out?
No, I got English Teacher on FX/Hulu is excellent. Brian Jordan Alvarez. I saw this movie called My Old Ass, where an 18-year-old takes shrooms and comes face to face with her 39-year-old self, Aubrey Plaza, and shenanigans ensue. Cute movie. I gotta know. I haven't seen it. You gotta tell me about Megalopolis.
This is why I took the mic back. I remembered about movies because I didn't think about movies when we were doing first shout outs. So I watched Megalopolis yesterday. Whenever it's nuts. I don't understand. I like I don't know if I was on drugs or they were on drugs or I was supposed to be on drugs. What was happening? The words they were saying weren't making sense. The facial expressions weren't making sense. The scenarios weren't making sense to me. There's Rome there. There's like magic happening. Time works differently. I don't even know how many. Like the movie has so many metaphors that like I think the movie is just a metaphor for a movie at this point.
So you're saying is you should watch it.
I think it's like the most unique movie I've ever watched. It's not good, but it's literally the most unique movie I've ever watched. So I kind of really want other people to watch it and see what the hell is going on.
Well,
Follow-up question.
I wanted to.
Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to, but you went without me. So.
Well, I was busy today because I wanted to come hang out with you.
I was about to cancel this whole thing. All right, Max, you wanted to say something?
Is it worth seeing in theaters or just wait for?
I mean, if you got a pass, then it's free. I would not pay for this movie.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for us this week. To 10 years, maybe 10 more. We'll see. But thanks everyone for coming back. Had a great time. And until next time.
Peace out.